Chapter 18. The Residence of Dr. Raemond Morningstar, London, England, June 4th, 1889. Sherbet tapped their fingers rhythmically on the banisters of Ray's staircase. The hallway to the study had been cleared of the historian's debris, thank the gods. Or one god in particular, they supposed. Sherbet was somewhat curious as to what XVIII and XVII had done with Ray's collected life's work, but truly they couldn't bring themselves to care. The focused, guiding force in their mind wouldn't let them care. There were far more pressing concerns right now. "Oh, thank Endarian," David drawled. David had lived in England for the majority of his life, having moved to the country early in his childhood, and yet still on occasion the distinct American twang crept into his voice when he spoke. He was sitting slumped on the floor at an odd angle, leant against the door to Ray's study as if his bones couldn't hold the weight of his own flesh, and he had simply crumpled to the floor. The tendrils of purple were more prominent now, covering most of David's skin. His eyes radiated with a notable purple sheen, almost glowing in the dim light. "He's so lucid." David spat the word out as if it tasted foul. "I hate him when he's like this. How did I stand him all these years?" He groaned. "You deal with him." David pulled himself to his feet and moved to walk away, his movements sluggish and unsteady. "Where do you think you're going?" Sherbet asked. David shrugged, almost playfully. "Oh, I don't know. I have more mold to cultivate. There's plenty of the world that needs to be prepared for Endarian's presence. And I suppose you can use some of it too, even if your experiments are unsuccessful." "They've gotten us this far, haven't they?" Sherbet growled. David nodded his head side to side. "If you insist. They've certainly gotten you further, given how prone she is to reject you. Further than you were able to get by yourself. Have fun with our friend in there, Sherbet. Just make sure he cooperates when the time comes." Sherbet grumbled incoherently to themselves as they pushed open the door to the study, a silent prayer to the goddess whose screams infested their mind. Ray was slumped against the wall, mumbling to himself, oblivious to Sherbet's presence. The room had been emptied of everything that had once filled the space, and Ray's scribblings were more noticeable now. Rather than charcoal scratchings, they had been carefully etched into the walls, carved into plaster and wood. A circle was carved into the floor, intricately scratched details and symbols shimmering in the evening light coming in through the window. It was almost ready. Everything was almost ready. All that had been festering for months, perhaps centuries, was about to come to fruition. They just needed Ray to hang on a little longer, to stay alive and cooperate under Endarian's control for a few more hours. Just long enough to complete the ritual. "I hope you're not having second thoughts." Sherbet crouched beside Ray, leaning over to look into their old friend's face. The infection around Ray's eye was spreading, the patch of purple skin now stretching down the side of his neck and across the bridge of his nose, tendrils inching further across his pale skin. Still, it wasn't spreading as quickly as Sherbet needed. "Let me go, Sherbet." Ray's voice was rough and quiet, a sound like something heavy being dragged across a stone floor. "We don't have to do this. You don't have to do this." "And why would I give up now, When we're so close? This is what you wanted, isn't it? What you've always wanted. You carved all this." Sherbet grinned, gesturing to the walls around them. "You searched for her for so long. This is what you were made for, Raemond." Ray coughed, his body shuddering. No, I didn't do this. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. This wasn't me. This was her. Please, Sherbet, it's me. It's Ray. I want this to stop. Please make it stop. This is madness. This is the truth, Raemond. This is the culmination of existence. of mankind. This is what your research has built up to all these years, and you want to step out now. This isn't what I worked for, Ray wheezed. Sherbet, this is just pain. Sherbet let out the same harsh laugh. It's painful because you won't cooperate, Raemond. You won't give in. And do you think this is anything but what you worked for? Did you think that you could go digging around in the darkness and not expect something to follow you out into the light? Ray shook his head weakly. His dark hair hung over his eyes, matted and unwashed. I didn't think... Yes, that does seem to be the issue. You don't think, Raemond. At least you're not thinking properly. Sherbet pulled a tube of purple distilled liquid from their pocket. She can fix that. And Darian can make it so you don't need to think at all if you just give in. I'll admit I'm curious as to why it's so hard for her to take to you. Why can't her roots find ground, I wonder? Ray made to move away, but he was too weak to get very far. His emaciated body simply crashed onto the ground, and he tried to prop himself up on his elbows as he scuttled back. Please, Sherbet, don't. Can't you feel it? How much it hurts? It hurts because you keep fighting it, Raemond. Sherbet spat. They reached down and grabbed a chunk of Ray's hair in their fists, dragging their friend up to face them. Ray yelled in pain. You just keep fighting. This isn't you, Sherb. I know it isn't, Ray whimpered, tears pricking at the corners of his eyes. See, that's where you're wrong, Raemond. Don't you see? I'm more myself than I have been in a very long time, even if you refuse to see it. And you're nothing but a failure, a mistake, a religious heretic. You're simply a foolish bastard who's too stubborn to accept the gift of knowledge he's always craved. Heretical? You never believed in any god, Sherbet. What makes you so devoted to Endirion? She guides us, Sherbet was screaming now, and the closeness of their shouts made Ray's ears ring, the same way she has guided humanity for eternity from the shadows. You are nothing but a puppet to her, don't you see that? Ray asked through gritted teeth, tears streaming down his cheeks. Every movement he made, every struggle against Sherbet's grip only yanked his hair more painfully. Something for some entity to control. It's freedom, not control. She doesn't control us. We are above that. If you're so above it, then what happened last night? Ray spat. Sherbet's eyes went wide. Beneath the sheen of his corruption, their blue and brown eyes glowed gold and purple in the evening light. Blood pooled in the corner of one before a drop joined the crusty red streak down the chemist's face. You think I haven't seen you? Ray continued, grasping at the hold he had found. All those nights when you try to let your new goddess into your mind and that other thing takes over. You think I haven't seen how it uses you? Twists and breaks your body to house itself in your skin. It visited me once, wearing your face stretched over its own. I have to say right now it's an improvement. How is that thing any different to Endirion? Sherbet jerked their hand upwards, pulling Ray to his knees. Don't you dare speak to me about that thing. That false god that thinks it can brute force its way past her. It is nothing like Endirion. I wonder where it goes at night, who it visits, what it does when you're not in control. Tell me, Sherbet, does it hurt you when it uses your body? Does it feel like it does for me when I let Endirion in? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Sherbet screamed. It doesn't matter about that, whatever it is, that thing that exists on the fringes of her realm. It doesn't matter. It's not a god. Ray laughed coldly, stifling a cough as his lungs burned. A god? The thing that calls itself Endirion? It isn't a god either, Sherbet. It's a monster. Sherbet leaned in closer, pulling Ray's head up to face them with a sharp tug, which caused the anthropologist to grunt in pain. Ray could smell the rot on their breath, the sickly sweet decay caught in the purple residue between Sherbet's teeth. And what's the difference? Ray looked into the eyes of their friend, or at least the eyes that used to belong to their friend, now warped beyond recognition by the purple sheen of corruption. A god cares. A monster merely uses. Sherbet howled with rage as they threw Ray's head sideways by the hair, letting go and sending him crashing to the floor with a thud. She does care. She cares about me. She cares about all of us. Ray felt his teeth slice through his cheek as his face collided with wood. The metallic taste of blood exploded in his mouth and he spat onto the floor, a red line trickling down his lip. Bullshit. She cares about herself. You're going to kill us all, you bastard. Don't you realize that? Sherbet kicked Ray in the stomach and the anthropologist screamed in pain. I told you to shut up. They used their foot to shove Ray over onto his back in the center of the room. This is why she hurts you, Raemond. Why Endirion makes it so hard, because you act like this. You slander her, but she is forgiving, you know. When the time comes and she arrives, your work for her will be recognized. She won't come through. You can't get her through, Sherb. You don't know the ritual. Ray chuckled, coughing as the blood slid down his throat and choked him, staring up at the ceiling with his one good eye. Nobody does. Not even me. No, see, that's where you're mistaken, Raemond. You do know it. You know so much more than you realize. Just not right now. But that doesn't matter. Because tomorrow, Raemond, when the time comes, Sherbet held the vial of purple liquid over Ray's eyes. You'll do it all for us. You're going to remember. With a little help from her. They stepped over Ray's prone form as they made their way to the door. Sherbet, you need to fight this. I know this isn't you, Ray wheezed. He could feel something grinding in his chest with every ragged breath, right where Sherbet had kicked him. Maybe they had broken a rib. There's still time for us to stop this. Sherbet laughed, a hand on the door to the office. It's far too late for you to stop this. Enjoy your last few hours like this, Raemond, in your pitiful excuse for a mental state. You'll feel so much better once you give in. They slammed the door closed, leaving Ray to let out a few painful, racking sobs on the floor of his own study before he slipped into blissful unconsciousness.